Okay, so I know this isn't Rhea, but this is my other baby Theo. And when I say my other baby Theo, I am going to introduce you to someone very special to me today. And I guess this is they call it the soft launch or they call it the hard launch relationship. Anyways, this is gonna be my partner Anthony, who also happens to be my manager that helps me handle all of my social media. I fought with him for almost a year on getting started on social media. So if you like my content, you can thank him for it. So Anthony, come join me.
I'm so happy that is recorded because that was now permanent. But, you know, it is funny though, because when I first started dating Phoenix, he was so, not against social media, but it just wasn't, like it wasn't your thing. You just weren't into the idea of having to like put yourself on camera. You were just working for a design firm. And I just knew that since I manage content creators for a living, that he's just so talented. I'm like, listen, there's an opportunity here. Like people would like Design Daddy. And you know, a year later, here we are. It's really cool.
So I wanted to introduce you to him because we're gonna try something a little bit different today in terms of like content format. We are looking to buy within the next year, and whatever we buy, we're obviously gonna be renovating and sharing with you. So we want to play a little game, something along the lines of like, who's the better interior designer or who has better interior design taste? I can see out of the corner of my eye, he's pointing at himself, and that may not be the case.
No, I'm kidding. Okay, I'm the first person to say that I just know what I like. But Phoenix is gonna have free reign in the house. Like obviously I'm gonna give my input, but he's the professional. I just have certain aesthetics that I personally enjoy, but I know jack all compared to him. Like he's the pro. I'll stick to Instagram videos and influencers. So what we're doing is we chose 6 spaces in a home and picked a bunch of pictures that we thought best represented our favorite design styles for those rooms. And we're gonna go head to head and see who's got a better sense of taste, who designs better kitchens, who would want a better bedroom.
But at the end of the day, you're gonna tell us the best choices, so let's get into it. So we're gonna start with one of my favorite spaces first, and it is the bathroom. So this is my ideal. I know it's really hard to showcase a bathroom just based on one picture, but having a statement marble in the shower has always been like a huge dream of mine. I love the sense of movement that you can get from natural stone. As you well know, in every single of my videos, I'm always talking about it. And I know it is porous. I know it is a high maintenance bitch, but I know I'm gonna be the one cleaning it. So he can't really say much about it. But this, having this statement stone like this with a combination of really deep walnut tones for the vanity, I think would be an absolute dream.
Also, like, can we put a little shady counter at the bottom of this video? Because it only took you, what, like 1 minute before you just did a subtle jab about cleaning? But I mean, this was hard because when we were picking pictures, Phoenix and I do have similar styles. I think it like diverges sometimes, but we both had this idea of like a dream bathroom having like green marble in it. Ironically enough though, the photo that I chose is the exact opposite in this case because, like, hear me out. I have 2 sort of dream bathroom aesthetics. One that's like super moody, which is like the, you know, the dark marble, which I love, the walnut, the cabinets, that would be really nice. But then I went on the opposite with something super light and airy and earthy because I like things that remind me of the earth, that have those sort of like natural tones, natural colors. And I feel like this aesthetic would be really nice overall when you add all the other photos that I picked. But if we had to pick one of the 2, I would be open to both, if that makes sense. You know?
So what we're saying is we're gonna need a few bathrooms. One for me,
yes.
One for him.
Well, you know what? Like the guest bathroom could be light and airy. Our bathroom could be really moody. And I still think it would fit. But like a green marble, ugh.
I mean, I'm kind of okay with this. I think it's cool. I like the dimension. I like that everything is very neutral and clean. The one downside of it is that it doesn't give any level of dimension because it's too many neutrals.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of Kim Kardashian's bathroom. If you put that in her shower, that would have been Kim Kardashian's bathroom.
It would have made total sense. Well, you'll see it once you see my other photos that like this would probably fit in the house that I've like imaginarily designed, if that makes sense. Like I feel like that style with the kitchen, like the office that I chose, maybe would be out of place. I don't know. Okay. I'm like all over the place. I like a lot of different styles for a lot of different rooms.
Okay, so we'll put a counter on the first one. You guys can choose whether I win or Anthony wins this round.
Yeah.
So the next is the bedroom. super intimate. I want something sexy. I want something dark in the bedroom. I know you've seen my recent renovations that I've done for a few clients where everything is black or this really dark monochromatic look. This obviously is an AI generated image, but this would be my absolute like ideal. Everything dark, sensual, moody. There's ambient light. I mean, these are candles, for example, but this really articulates a really unique direction that I think picks up on the rest of the design styles that I would like to achieve in the space to make it feel like really cohesive.
I'd be so afraid though of the candles next to the bed. Like absolutely not.
Don't have candles in your
I'm
bedroom.
really clumsy and like self-admittedly a bit messy, as he alluded to with the shower. So I don't know if that would be a fire or like safety hazard, but like that velvet would not last at all. But I mean, it's beautiful. Like the room would be really pretty. Would you want it to be like all black, everything, everywhere, accents and all?
Maybe not like completely blackout, but a majority of the items I would love to have really deep, like even if this bed frame, you made that like a really rich walnut with
pretty.
the black sheets, the black millwork around, the nightstands, I think would really make it look like super chic and sexy.
You already have a hard time getting me out of bed in the morning. You don't think a blackout room where no light is let in is going to make it easier? Absolutely
We just make
not.
sure we have lots of lights that I can turn on and wake you up.
Okay, yeah. You know you're in a gay person's home when they have dimmers? Because it's just like enough said, you know?
No one uses the big light.
No one uses the big light. Okay, so I'm similar in that I like moody aesthetics, but I did a little bit more of a semi-industrial bedroom that still lets in a little bit of light, still has some of the darkness. I'd be open to like blackness, but I love an industrial brutalist home. Like give me something like really modern. Like Diplo's house literally is my dream home. I mean, like, how is that not anybody else's like dream? Like that home is stunning.
I mean,
like,
when you're spending $75 million on a house, it better be your dream
yeah,
house.
I mean, it basically personifies everything I love about architecture. And I think this kind of fits that vibe. I would say this is definitely giving like New York artist energy. So it encapsulates part of what I like, but I think, you know, I'd be open to more black in the space. I mean,
Okay, you know what? I like the elements that are in here. I love, like absolutely love that giant fucking window.
Yeah.
Natural light in essence in any room can make or break a space. And I think having this level of light really makes this space look less falling apart, to say the least.
You shady bitch.
It's a really cool, like I like the idea of it. Like you said, it's very like New York, Soho loft.
Like it's
artist.
giving, I'm a Nepo baby, but I don't want to be seen as a Nepo baby. So I live in an $8,000 a month apartment that looks like it's kind of like artisanal and breaking down, but I don't own it. But like, I'm kind of in Manhattan. Like that's
That's
vibe.
not bad. There's a lot of elements we can pull from that. And I feel like these two combinations of what we both like could pair quite seamlessly, like very easily.
The one thing I would argue with this room that I don't like is I love how much natural light it lets in, but there's no sort of mechanism to dull that light. Like there's no like electronic blinds, there's no drapes. I would add drapes, I think.
Oh no, we definitely need to have.
Yeah, maybe that's where like the blackout velvet drapes would actually work here.
The question is, where is this located? Is this like ideally in a New York loft?
I mean, that would be great if we could afford to live in a New York loft. Or I mean, if you come to Toronto, you can see that the price of a home will set you back an eternity. So, I mean, if we can afford more than a shoebox in this city, I'd just be excited. So the question is, do you want dark and moody or Nepo baby industrial? Leave a comment.
Okay, so the next one is going to be the foyer. And this was really challenging for me because I found probably 500 images that I really, really liked. And this one I think spoke to me the most, even though it's not technically a foyer itself, it's just a detail. A foyer is so personable to how you live and operate in a space. And I think it should really be at the forefront of design when you go into someone's space, because this is your first preview of how the space should be. So it's either dark and moody, intimate, it's got details, it's got elements, it's organized. This, I think, really makes my OCD so happy. Everything is perfectly lined up. You have these details of picture frame molding that are so unorthodox because they really give a different level of dimension with how they've created this space in not only a 3D look, but almost 4D because it creates that extra level of dimension that, in my opinion, creates such like a wow impact feature that I want to have somehow included in the foyer.
Oh my God, I just want to see you write an essay because the way you described wrapping a molding around a wall was so pretty.
It's like when you're trying to finish it.
Yeah, when you're trying to like hit the word count. Yeah, when you're trying to hit the word count in an essay, like literally you could have just said, I love the way the molding wrapped around matches up perfectly.
It sounds nice, okay? The people like it. Please tell me you like it, that you like it when I like extrapolate on certain terms.
But I mean, that foyer is like, that does scream you. It's like very regal. It's got kind of like that old world vibe. Even the sort of, what's the flooring called?
The
flooring.
flooring? Oh, like the herringbone.
Yes, that's it. Sorry,
That
I
is
was
an
like,
absolute must.
yeah,
The
that
place will have
herringbone is, I
herringbone.
would say, kind of like a signature design element that you love. And I love herringbone too. I think it would be really nice. I love something really like commanding and cubic, you know, with a massive wood door, very modern, that would allow for the type of home that I want based on the other designs. Like, I could imagine this could have been something that Diplo would have put at his home.
Yeah, I love the pivot door. I
Yeah.
think that's so beautiful. The only downside is most pivot doors start at like $10,000.
Yeah.
So
We
that
literally
may not
went
be at the budget.
We went to a decor show a few weeks ago and we got to actually see some of these pivot doors in real life, and like they made Phoenix look tiny. And like Phoenix is 6'4", like he's a big man. And these doors were huge, but I just like was frothing at the mouth being like, oh my God, could you imagine just like it taking like your full body weight to open a door? That is my dream.
I think that's beautiful though. And once again, I feel like this contemporary style can blend really well
Yeah.
with that kind of old world detail of that like neoclassical style that I like for a foyer, where it can still be a very impactful space, but still very subtle.
Yeah. And also too, if you notice a little detail at the bottom of the corner, it looks like there's like a little mini pond or water feature. Just imagine that was a moat. That would be a dream. We always laugh though. They're like, one day if we were really rich, like really rich, we'd love to buy a castle and with its own moat. That would be iconic. Absolutely Game of Thrones energy. Like, we have to pop up a photo of Phoenix with his long hair because it's giving literally Game of Thrones. Like, could you imagine him in a castle? Like, would anything else be more Phoenix?
But could you imagine how fucking beautiful if we like took elements of this like contemporary style and blended them into like a castle? I think would be so fucking cool. Also, unbelievably expensive.
Yeah, like we're talking as if we have castle money. I'm like, we can barely afford 1,000 square foot in Toronto money.
I'm still waiting for that like trust fund to just like appear, being like, oh yeah, surprise, you don't have to work anymore.
A girl can dream.
So let us know in the comments who won for the foyer. I think I did, but once again, I think it's a still like blend that works really well.
I don't think anyone loses in that round, to be honest. Both are nice,
Yeah.
you know?
So for the next one, I know I have also said that all my other ones were the favorite, but this one is my favorite. I love to cook, and a kitchen to me is absolutely the heart of the home. And I want it, once again, sexy, moody, intimate. I know this picture literally shows like a corner part of a kitchen. I love like deep black cabinets and not a flat cabinet. Like I want a level of dimension of detail on these cabinet faces where you can see the wood grain. And of course, you already know the marble has to be a statement. It has to have also that beautiful sense of movement, that it has so much depth to it. When you look at it, it's literally an art piece. Like your kitchen is the standalone art piece at the center of your home and needs to be like on point with the rest of the space.
I mean, I love that marble. Like we talk about it all the time. I love that he loves to cook because I ain't cooking. Like, I mean, I can and I will if I need to, but
I don't let him. He orders food when we
yeah,
cook.
like I'll order us dinners or take us to dinner, and he will cook us dinners because he's a great cook. But I like a nice kitchen because I just like pretty things, and I need a nice place to make coffee in the morning. So, but I love that marble. That's so nice. We've always talked about having like a black kitchen. Obviously, black kitchens are harder to clean. They show everything, but you've always said like if you add a bit of grain to the wood or like let the texture show, it kind of hides it better.
Yeah, if you have a texture on a cabinet and you're going with a dark cabinet, it will help hide fingerprints, oil, and dirt because it gives that level of detail that really doesn't show it. Like if you do a flat cabinet that's just black, you will literally see a hair on it.
Yeah.
If you have like that extra little bit of detail, it hides it. Another huge thing about the kitchen is I don't want it to look like a kitchen. We've argued about having like a coffee like station. I don't drink coffee. I've never drank coffee. I know I'm one of those weird people. And he's like, we need to we need to have one of those like nice ones on display. I was like, no, it's going to be hidden away. You're not going to see it. You're not going to see anything. You're just going to see cabinets, marble, and a really beautiful sculptural faucet.
So when we do get our own kitchen, we are definitely going to get a coffee station. I am putting my foot down there because I'm allowed one thing. I'm allowed one thing in the room. And we'll just get a really. There's plenty of like espresso machines and coffee machines that are sculptural and pretty. Like we can definitely.
You know what? I'll just make a custom one that goes with the kitchen design, and then it can be out.
Fine, deal. We'll compromise. So for my kitchen, it's a bit of a departure from Phoenix's image. Now mine is definitely AI generated for sure, but like. Come on, could you imagine how pretty that would be? But imagine though, like remove the floors, concrete floor, so that you still keep the industrial vibe and fantasy.
What about the herringbone? We just agreed on herringbone.
I like herringbone too, but I'm saying for this specific style, we want to go a little bit more industrial because you got the big ceilings, the windows, the arches. I can't tell if these cabinets are brown or black. I guess it depends on the way the light is hitting them, but these in black would be stunning. I just love the openness of this.
That once again, I am very much on board with all this beautiful natural light that comes in. Like if I could have a house of all glass windows, I 100% would. I know it's not practical. I think it's so beautiful. I've also lived in spaces that have little to no light in my life before, so I feel like that's kind of like scarred me. But this is a dream kitchen because I love to host. That I love having people over. I love cooking for people. I love creating like these beautiful charcuterie boards and just like having people over to hang out. This is like the dream. Having a space big enough for a kitchen like this, I am on board with. I love the details of the cabinets of like this modernized almost shaker, but it's not like very transitional.
Yeah.
The arches for the windows, I love. Yeah. You know what? I think there's a lot of elements that we can also pull from this into like the style that I like. I love all the open LED displays above where we can have like certain things. I think that's great too.
I also like the sort of hybrid of open shelves with closed shelves because you can use the open shelves for like display, but you don't want to keep everything on display, so you could tuck stuff away. I love a big island. Like he loves to host. I love to host people too. Like I'll make drinks at the island. Like it just feels like this space gives homey without feeling homey. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like I feel like people live in this room and that's something I want.
Before you come for me, because I have said how much I dislike open shelving. If you have a kitchen big enough for this, you best believe I'm going to have those shelves that are literally display items. There's nothing stored there except something to make it look pretty.
Yeah, I think also too, like it's one thing to know the rules, which Phoenix always talks about on his channel, but if I've learned anything dating him is like, it's also important to know when to break the rules. Like sometimes you can break the rules in a specific space that calls for it. But I think you need to know those rules in order to do it.
Yeah.
Do I know those rules? Not really. I kind of like get it from him. So I'm letting him make all the decisions. I'm just giving him base input on what I think would look good. But I know at the end of the day, I'm going to lose. Like I'm going to lose no matter what. He's always going to put his foot down and win. Speaking of castle, he's already the king of it. So...
King in the castle, king in the castle.
And this is why you hire an interior designer, because the amount of couples I've worked with, the husband, the wife, or the partners that are together, most of the time they're very opposite ends of the spectrum of design. And it's about finding the balance between both of them, that they're both happy and the space looks cohesive. The last thing you want to do is find someone that likes super contemporary, modern style and like farmhouse aesthetic. Yeah. And you try and put those together and it's disaster. So another dream space of mine is the closet. I can't believe I'm actually saying this out loud. I have a lot of clothes and a lot of accessories and shoes and bags and everything in between. I know he's probably...
Is someone holding you at gunpoint to admit this out loud?
I can't believe I put that on the record. But regardless, because of that, my closet is completely overflowing.
Yeah.
A walk-in closet, of course, is a dream most of the time. But I want to be able to turn it into this like beautiful oasis display that's not kitschy.
Yeah.
So this
Yeah.
would be my dream.
Mm.
This is going back to younger me playing The Sims and building this garden oasis courtyard in the middle of the house. I want this either in the middle of the house or in the walk-in closet where you come in.
Your
and it's
Sims
like,
game was so different than my Sims. Not
trust
even
me,
close.
I was using that Rosebud cheat code like no tomorrow just to make it afford it. But like having this mixture of this beautiful like display hangout, like I want like friends to come over and like hang out in the closet. I want people to have fun and like play dress up and have drinks in here. Like this would be an absolute dream of like this combination of mixed and open storage. Everything can be hidden away, but it also feels really homey and it's on display. But it's also, it's not black. It's not a black one for
Yeah.
surprisingly.
This makes me want to go back into the closet.
Oh my God.
I feel like mine can't really top that now.
Okay, let's see.
I'll stop with the gay jokes.
Liar!
Okay, so in my dream closet is also very beautiful, and like the herringbone has come back into the equation. I loved this one because it does fit some of the industrial elements with the sort of room separators and room dividers, but still also feels open and airy. So I think it kind of is a little reference to your style, but yours is definitely more open. This feels a little bit more like kind of regal, like your foyer vibes.
No, this is beautiful. Once again, I feel like if this was 10 times the size, like the picture I just showed,
Yeah.
you could have like a beautiful, dream. The courtyard in the middle of having this beautiful natural light flood in the space.
Yeah.
But I love the room dividers, the mullions in these windows and glass, I think really add that character to this industrial aesthetic that you like.
Can you say that word again? Mullion?
Mullion.
What's a mullion?
Like windows have mullions.
But
like
what's
that's
a
what it's
mullion, though?
called. It's literally the divided break in a window. Like this is a mullion in a window.
Oh, the more you know. I was struggling with this one because like I love obviously this sort of style too, but then on the flip side, give me an all concrete type closet with bars, and it feels almost like the Essence store, just something really modern. I also love that. So trying to find the balance between both is very hard for me. I feel like he'll find it when we do move into our own place. Granted, wherever we move first probably won't be our dream home.
No. Unless we somehow come into a very large sum of money and we can just custom build exactly what we want. That
One
is
day
probably,
we'll manifest it.
We're going to get there.
Yeah,
you are
absolutely.
all going to help us get to that point. But I think this is great. And before we move on to the next one, we need to hear on record that he also has a shit ton of clothes. I think he has more shoes than me, at least, on one thing.
How many handbags do you have?
It doesn't matter.
I'm just so curious.
I use all of mine. When's the last time you wore your shoes that you have in?
I wear my shoes.
He wears 2 pairs of shoes.
Absolutely not. Okay, I have a great, beautiful wall of shoes, but like a lot of them are boots. It calls for different types of weather. I'm a creature of habit, okay? Sometimes I just want to grab something that's easy and go. He wants to strut the runway when we go to the grocery store. So, I mean, have you seen every single video that Phoenix is in? It's like ready for the like catwalk. I don't think people actually understand that this is how Phoenix dresses at all times, which was also one of the reasons why I fell in love with him, because like you don't see a person put that much effort into their personal style. But like that's Phoenix. Like he's not fronting for anybody. He will literally sit on the couch in jeans. Jail. Jail. Straight to jail.
Wow. Judged. Okay, so the last one on the list is, I'm going to say it again, a favorite room. Every room, if I could design, would be my favorite. But this, I wanted to see his personal style for this, because I feel like this may clash, because obviously we both have our own businesses that we're running. So I wanted to see your take and my take on a home office. So this is mine, which once again, there's a lot of black elements. There's a walnut, it's rich, it's moody, it's sexy. It's this combination of that looks very clean and contemporary, but we have this like biophilic like introduction of like these huge windows of what you can see from outside. Natural light is huge in any space for me, but especially in an office. I want it to feel like this is a cool hangout space. Like when I have my employees come work here, I want them to feel like this is a great place to hang out and work and feel comfortable and not feel like a stuffy interior design office, which is most of the time not that great from what I've seen.
Yeah, no, it's stunning. I mean, imagine that view. I don't want to know what that view costs, but like the shelves are really beautiful. That big commanding desk is really nice. When you said it's sexy and cute, my gay ass first went to it's sexy and cute and confident to boot. Like, tell me you didn't grow up with Bring It On. I'll stop with the gay jokes.
I'll stop with the gay jokes.
That was literally the first thing that popped into my mind. Listen, all I'm asking you is to support his sponsorships because that money will go to us one day being able to have a biophilic office. Is that the right use of the term?
Close. I'll
Close?
have that one.
Okay. I mean, it is really beautiful though.
I think the only thing I would change though is that desk would be one huge marble slab.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
you're gonna have to do a lot more Squarespace ads.
And that's a perfect segue into... No, I'm just kidding. I know you probably would have loved that joke and the introduction to an ad.
That would have been kind of iconic, to be honest. Totally unplanned, but that would have been amazing. Okay, so in the exact opposite direction of his office, my office is giving Dune, like during the daytime. Like that's kind of like open air.
But Dune on the planet that's not a desert.
Yeah, totally. I mean, like maybe, but it's like open air, full concrete. Like it's giving, I'm working under the underpass, but like I've got glass walls. Like it's nice. I love it. I mean, to me, it's the silence is deafening.
This is giving gentrification. We just bought an old warehouse and we just put a fuck ton of money into it and turned it into this.
What else do gay men do? Is that not what we do? We gentrify things?
I'll stop with the gay jokes.
There's going to be a Barry's next door.
There's going to be a Barry's next door.
And a Whole Foods across the street. In all seriousness, I think this is really fucking beautiful.
It is really pretty.
And this matches with your very like Rick Owens like tomb mausoleum style that you like, which I think is beautiful. And I think that's a really unique thing that you can add into a space is that if you have multiple rooms to have offices, this is the one space that you're allowed to play with. There's a house I'm designing in the States right now where the husband and wife have complete opposite styles. And the offices, which are across from each other, we're doing like their own individual style that suits how they live and work in a space. And I think that's really, really fun. So we definitely need a house big enough to have two separate offices because I think this is also really cool. I would love to work and hang out in there too.
I mean, all joking aside, I think the one thing that Phoenix and I really sort of align with when it comes to design is we both love sculptural works. And to me, that desk, you know, is playing with lines in an interesting way. The weight of it being asymmetrical is really...
The cantilever of it too, alone, I can only imagine what that's going to cost. But I'm going to make one other comment. I love all these plants. He's going to kill all of them. I'm going to have to go in there and water them to make sure that they survive.
You love watering plants, okay? Like this is my gift to you. Really, if you think about it, I'm giving you something else to take care of, which you love. You love taking care of plants. I don't have a green thumb, unfortunately. That was not something I was gifted in this life. So like, I think the plants are pretty. Like I could probably remove them and be equally as happy. And like you could put like a bookshelf behind me or something. I just love this sort of concrete, open, cantilevered desk. Also a new word I didn't know.
Cantilever.
Either way, I think this would be really pretty, but also that office with the full marble desk would be stunning. So the question is, which one of us is more batshit crazy? Leave a comment.
Both. Both is good.
And if one of those penthouses that are like 20,000 square feet and $250 million becomes readily available or, you know, like gifted to us somehow, that would be beautiful. We'd be able to have the full glass all the way around. We could have the combination of the marble, the concrete, the stone. Okay,
You're going on a tangent.
I know like lots of this is like a huge dream, but like I think this was a really like fun exercise, and I think this is a great kind of like game to play with your partner or your friends to see what your interior design style is, whether you're living with someone or you're going to be living with someone in the future, because you need to also understand that you need to be comfortable in how you live in your space. And I think this is a really important consideration that a lot of people don't take into effect is like, both of you need to like the space that you live in, whether it be decor, paint colors, accessories. Really hone in on what both of you like and you're able to find, you know, a middle ground
Yeah.
where maybe you're bringing in decor from certain design styles and aesthetics that really match with each other. But also, at the end of the day, you both want to be happy in the space that you're in.
Yeah. I want our home to feel like it's lived in. And I want people to feel like they could come over and hang out with us and have a good time and like host a party and not feel like you're too afraid to touch everything. I love beautiful things. I love collecting high fashion and, you know, spending on stuff that like matters to us, but I do want the home to be a home. Like I don't want to come home at the end of the day of like a really long day of work and feel like I have to saran wrap my body because I'm too afraid to touch anything. Absolutely not. I am way too messy for that, okay?
So this was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this. I think this was a really cool activity. But at the same time, I need to thank Anthony and his company and his team, DeLuca Media Group, that has really pushed me and allowed me to evolve on this like level of social media, but also be able to share my expertise with all of you on every single one of my platforms. Because we're at like, what, 1.4 million across everything now?
Yeah,
and
that's
it
wild.
wouldn't be because of Anthony and pushing me and supporting me and his company backing us to be able to do any of this. So we need to give him a good thanks for if you're watching me.
Oh.
And if you're a creator or a business, please check out DeLuca Media Group. He does literally everything and he knows how to do everything so well, from growing content creators to making content to just like anything involved literally in social media.
Get you a hype man who like cares like Phoenix. But you know, I want to thank everybody actually watching, because when Phoenix took the risk to actually do this full time, he took a risk on me, and I knew that he was so talented that all he needed were just some resources and like a push. But it's because of all of you watching that his channels are growing and that he's seeing support, and it's like this really beautiful thing because it's changing both of our lives simultaneously, which is really nice. I'm not gonna cry. I am not gonna cry, but it means a lot. So thank you for his support. It's hard to sometimes be online and put yourself out there and be open to criticism. And that's something very new to Phoenix. But like you guys have like really embraced him with open arms. So we really, really appreciate it. And I guess like the last thing that's really worth noting is that if you are ever second guessing yourself, just ask,
What would Design Daddy do?
Then both of you should
boom.